Greetings. My name is Ryan Hotep, and I'm with 13ScienceAstrology.com. What are my views on education? I was asked this question several different times. What are my views on advanced education, particularly? Should one go to great depths as far as financially, great depths financially in pursuing a college education? Now, first I want to say that these are just my views. The things that I talk about on this channel are just to get people to think. So if you're in school watching this video, don't go drop out just because Ram Hotep said he might not necessarily agree with college. I don't support one going to college to get a job. I don't support one borrowing money to go to college. I support strictly one going to a university. See, because it's a universal city or university. I support one going to the university if that particular person is going there to master a certain skill or master a certain doctrine of information, because this is something that they need for their life script and their life path and their life journey. If you are going to college just to get a job because you heard that they make a lot of money, this is not something that is supported by your life script, because money has nothing to do with abundance. Money is just a medium, and even if you want, or even if it's in your life script to become abundant, which a lot of people say if they become abundant that means they're going to have a lot of money, it's not necessarily true. Becoming abundant is just having a lot of resources. One can acquire a lot of resources with no money, with zero money. You can inherit resources. There's a lot of ways to get resources. So saying all that to say that just because you go to college does not mean you're going to come out and be abundant and more abundant than the next person. And this is mostly why people go to college. Now, these colleges or these universities nowadays are more like training facilities. They're training facilities. Now, some of the real universities are still teaching universal doctrine, universal information. Like, say, for instance, like the University of Indiana or the University of Cincinnati or Georgia State University or the California University, California State or something like that. Say these different universities. Yeah, they're still teaching advanced doctrine. But then you got like in the impoverished communities, which, you know, a lot of people are living in these impoverished communities. They have these career training places. This college, this career training center, this institution. But they're not universities. They're training centers, teaching people how to basically do a job, to become workers, and not teaching them a skill set or even a doctrine or a logic of a system of information. It's not being taught in these training centers. They're just teaching people certain things, a certain skill set or certain career training education to work a certain job. Like, say for instance, to give you an example, a nurse's assistant. You know, you have your nursing assistant. You have your entrepreneurship courses that they're putting in there, where you basically take the entrepreneurship course or whatever, but you're not necessarily working with someone that has a real business and interning with someone and learning hands-on entrepreneurship. You're reading these things in a textbook. You have your not your accounting program, but your bookkeeping program. So you have your accounting program, which is one that learns all the laws of the IRS tax codes, and they become a CPA or a certified public accountant, which is a certified accountant. They have bookkeeping courses where one learns how to keep books. And these are the things that you learn in your career training schools. Now, I'm not against those schools, but I'll say this. Those schools are totally obsolete, because most of the information that they teach can be learned on your own. You can learn pretty much all of that stuff on your own. People are going there for the piece of paper so that they can get a job. But really, in reality, you get jobs based on experience, not based on a piece of paper or a certificate. Just because you go to one of those schools does not mean you're going to get a job. So people that are getting education so that they can make it in the matrix have the whole concept of all backwards, all wrong. Your whole concept of the purpose of education is wrong, because you're thinking about it from a capitalistic, monetary point of view, when education is supposed to be a form of enlightenment and a tool of enlightenment to shed the light and to bring people further into the truth and the light, and how to basically do things on a universal cosmic level. You know what I'm saying? Instead of having people become linear and become slaves and working for other people. And education is supposed to enlighten the being so that he can become independent and autonomous and self-sustaining, but at the same time cooperative and working within his community so that he can better his community. He's cooperative, but yet and still the education that he has allows him to be self-sustaining, meaning that he has the knowledge to build his own house. He has the knowledge to power his own house. He has the knowledge to fix his vehicles when they break down. This is true education. When in teaching somebody how to survive on a holistic level, like in society, you see, teaching somebody how to survive in society, not this educational stuff that you have now where they teach you how to work a job, but then you have to go and pay to get your car fixed. You have to go and pay to get your lawn done. You have to go and pay. See, they set everything up based off economics. You see, and this is how they get people, because everything is based off of money. Capitalism is screwing people up, because education is now based off of a capitalistic education. So capitalism is at the root of education, because everything now is for profit, not for abundance, which is different. And I'm going to be doing a video on the difference between abundance and profit. For profit, this is why everybody does everything. And you file for a profit every year when you file your tax returns. So they have people living for a profit. Everybody is living for a profit. The entrepreneur and the worker is living for a profit. And this takes away from education, because now a person wakes up every day fueled by profit, and instead of waking up every day fueled to learn something new that's going to better not only their situation, but better their community as a whole. Education is to better the person so that they can go out and better the community. But in the universities, they're still teaching advanced calculus. You know, they're teaching programs and they're teaching subjects that people can benefit from on a level as far as like inventing things and things like that. You see, you need calculus to be able to invent and be able to write certain programs, and you need programs to be able to operate as software to be able to operate certain equipment, certain computerized equipment. So I'm for education that teaches and that basically helps to advance humanity. Like, say for instance, I'm for education that teaches advanced methods of power, like as far as like solar power, wind power, and energy, advanced energy methods. I'm for education that teaches that. I'm for education that will eliminate the need for money. I'm for education that teaches that. Something that will teach humanity how to live without the concept of money. See, I'm for that. I'm for economics that teaches that. You see, I'm for an economy that is based on resources and that is based on living in tune with nature. I'm for an economist like that, but I'm not for an economist that teaches off of destroying one thing so that you can build another thing. You see, that's going against nature, and that's not education. That's ignorance, and that's training, and that's programming that, you know, the powers that be, those particular lower energy beings, those reptilians, those Illuminatis, those bankers, whatever you want to call them, those particular beings that run the matrix want to keep you on that level as far as destroying things to live so that they can keep your energy on a lower level. This is how your energy stays low, because of your need to destroy things to make it. When if you learn how to extract solar energy, if you learn how to extract water energy, you wouldn't need to destroy as much to sustain yourself. You see, water basically never changes form because it's energy. So you drink it, it goes through your body as water, and it comes back out, and your urine is still, the water is still intact. It may be mixed with other chemicals, but the water will eventually go back to itself. Water always finds its way back to itself. You see, so it's not being destroyed. So you want to learn how to extract energy from those things instead of destroying to make it, which is a materialist type of way. And I'm not for education that teaches that at all. Not for education that teaches that at all. So I'm for education that teaches enlightenment. The teachers want to think for themselves so that they can save themselves. I'm for that. So I'm not for education that strives to control people. I'm not for education that once you get the degree, you have to swear an oath to somebody you know what I'm saying, to stay within a system that is keeping people's energy low. See, I come and get this education from you, but then I got to go swear and take an oath. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not going to go into this oath. You know, people that got the high degrees know what I'm talking about. Those people that got those high degrees. You take this oath saying that you're going to basically keep the system the way that it is. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to use your knowledge to help to enlighten people and to advance society. You see, I'm not for that. That's control. That's keeping people ignorant so that they can stay dependent on lower energy type of materials and lower energy type of things. You see, that's what that's doing. You know what I'm saying? When you basically make somebody take an oath to say that they're going to uphold the matrix, basically, they're going to keep the system going the way that it is. This is why people take oaths, to keep the system going the way that it is. It's not about the truth. They don't take an oath for the truth. They take an oath so that they can keep the power the way that it is. You know what I'm saying? I'm not against oaths because the ancients took oaths for different reasons. So I'm not against oaths. So you know what I'm saying? I understand what an oath is, but I'm against oaths that suppress truth. I'm against oaths that suppress knowledge. I'm against oaths that suppress enlightenment. And that's what a lot of these oaths are doing. So yeah, you got to take an oath before you get those degrees. See, a lot of people don't know that. You got to take an oath. There's rituals involved. There's rituals involved with all of that stuff. When people graduate, even with your bachelor's, the little tassel, and it's pinned down because your tassel can't swing 360 degrees. So you're not dealing with astrological knowledge. See, I teach astrology, which is 360 degrees. You know what I'm saying? People's tassels, it can't swing. It's pinned down. It can only swing 33 degrees. You see, this is the university tassel that they have on the mortar, which is a mortar board, which is basically the cap that they have or whatever, which is a mortar board, which has a tassel at the end, and it can only swing. It can't swing around because it's pinned down. You see, it's pinned down because that represents symbolically your knowledge is limited to it swinging within only 33 degrees. When, you know what I'm saying, if I was to put on my fez when I get into my astrological gown and all of that, my tassel on my fez can spin 360 degrees. You see, so that's the difference as far as education. It's about enlightenment and degrees. You see, you go to school to get a degree. So it goes back to astrology. In astrology, we deal with degrees. The zodiac is 360 degrees. But then within that, there's a circle within a circle, which is another 360 degrees. So we teach 720 degrees in astrology. So we're teaching more information, you know what I'm saying, in astrology and the astrological doctrine than, you know what I'm saying, you're going to pick up in some educational some university or whatever, or even some career training place or whatever. So I'm not against it, but it doesn't teach people, like the educational system nowadays, it doesn't teach people to be like a generalist. It doesn't teach people like how to survive, like teach people how to build a skill set so that they can become like emperors. You know what I'm saying? Like an emperor, say for instance, the one who wants to strive to be an emperor, he would have to have a skill set. He would have to be a builder. But then at the same time, he would have to be a planner. You know what I'm saying? He would have to know mathematics. But at the same time, he would have to know how to draw. Because he would have to know art. You know what I'm saying? He would have to be able to envision things. In order to be a builder, he would have to be good with numbers. He would have to know human relations. Because he would have to know how to work with the people. He would have to study marketing. Because he would have to know how to promote himself to the other kings and the other kingdoms. So that they will know that it's a kingdom there. So an emperor would have to have a knowledge of a lot of different skills that you can learn in school. Marketing, health, community organizing and structure, all of that type of stuff. Like a community planner or emperor, I'm sorry, would have to know how to do all of these things. You know what I'm saying? In order for him to be an emperor, he's more like a generalist. See, they don't teach people in society like that anymore. We all used to be like that. You know what I'm saying? We were empresses and emperors, but now we've become employees and employers, slave masters and slaves. You see, some people laugh because they're the slave master. Ha ha, I made it to the top. I'm the slave master. See, a lot of people calling themselves masters, but they really calling themselves slave masters. Master this, master that. Yeah, I got master on the front of my name on Twitter, and I call myself Master Ramhotep, but I'm calling myself master because I mastered myself. I've learned so much about myself to where I've mastered myself. When I say I've mastered myself, that means that I know myself enough to where I know what I can do to myself and what I can't do to myself. I've totally mastered myself. So I didn't say I mastered anybody else. So that's my mastery. But some people calling themselves masters because they mastered you by using knowledge to rule over you. You see, and when you get your masters, you know what I'm saying, in school, all this stuff goes hand in hand. When you get your masters in school, that's taking you into basically saying that you're a master now. You're a manipulator now. See, people that have their masters, they're further along. They're higher up in the matrix because they know how to work with the mind a little more to manipulate. You see, so they get their masters. When you get your doctors, see, doctor comes from the term docere, which means teacher. So when you get your doctorate degree, you become a teacher. These are the people that teach the construct of the matrix. The doctors teach the matrix. You know what I'm saying? The masters are at the top of the food chain when it comes to operating the matrix. Those people with their bachelors are usually those puppets that do the hard work. You know what I'm saying? Those people that are bachelors, they do the hard work. These are people that are trained well in what they do and trained in their job. You know what I'm saying? And people will say, well, they got their bachelors, at least they doing something, at least they know something. Like, what about people out here that ain't got no degree? They don't know how to do nothing. Again, the degree doesn't tell a person how much knowledge that you have in your head. Just because you have a piece of paper. You know what I'm saying? That's all it is just a piece of paper. But knowledge is about being able to, and wisdom, knowledge and wisdom is about being able to acquire knowledge and then implement it. You know what I'm saying? That's what shows whether or not you have knowledge in your head. So I teach the young people as far as if you want to get an education and you don't got the money, you know what I'm saying? Don't go in depth to get an education. If you don't got the money, go out here and buy whatever you want to do in this world. Buy books to go do it right now. All the books that they sell in college, you can go buy those books. Go buy those books. You don't have to go to school. You know what I'm saying? If you want to learn certain things, if you want to learn how to be a bookkeeper so that you could be a good entrepreneur. Because like in entrepreneurship, I mean, you have to wear several hats. You got to be a bookkeeper. You have to be a good marketing person. It takes time and it takes experience. And you're going to mess up. You're going to mess up. You know what I'm saying? I run a business right now and it's not perfect. You know what I'm saying? I mess up all the time, but it's the experience, see? Because I would rather mess up for 4 years on my own business than go to school for 4 years and work at somebody and go to school in another person's university and spend money, and I'm still going to mess up because I got to intern and mess up while I'm in school and paying somebody to mess up when I'm earning to mess up. That's what you're doing when you start your own business and you mess up. You're earning while you're learning. You're going to mess up. Things are going to happen. That's a part of business. You know what I'm saying? But they don't teach people. But in order to be a good business person, back to my point, you have to learn bookkeeping. You have to learn marketing. You have to learn management. You have to learn these things. You have to learn proper ways of presenting yourself. You have to learn these things in order to be a good business person. And these are all unrelated skills. You see, and this is the type, that's how they teach at the Ivy League schools. You see, they got you going to these universities paying all of this money in the Ivy League schools. They're teaching their people a skill set. This is why most politicians go to certain schools, because politicians have skill sets. They know how to do multiple things. You know what I'm saying? And this is real education. You know what I'm saying? This stuff that's going on here in the West, it's not real education because people don't have a skill set. People can't even really speak more than one language here in America. So let alone being able to master more than one skill. Most people only know what they do every day. If it's not in relationship to their job, they don't know nothing about it. The average person out here. And there aren't many generalists. Generalists are really more advanced, you know what I'm saying, because they know a little bit about a lot of things, so they can have conversations with more people. And your success in life is based on your conversation and your ability to communicate. The more you communicate in life, the more money you make. This is what I teach in my light worker courses. The less you communicate in life, probably the less money you make. This is not always the case, but 90% of the time. 90% of the time. The more you communicate, the more money you make. The less you communicate, the less money you make. This is how it goes. So you want to be a good communicator. In education, you want to get the education that's going to help you with your life purpose. You want to know your life purpose. So you want a spiritual education to couple your material education. And that's another problem. They teach spirituality separate from material in the matrix. You got to go to church to get what they call that spiritual information in church. And you got to go to college to get the material information. When in astrology, we teach it all holistically. In metaphysics, we teach it all holistically. It all goes hand in hand. It's all intertwined. It's all interconnected. It's all part of the multiverse. So that's my views on education. Don't drop out. If you're already in it, you know, just keep doing what you got to do. But at the end of the day, for those people that really know their purpose in life and are disciplined, I put discipline first, knowledge and discipline. Discipline, but radical. You need to be radical. And I know that doesn't usually go hand in hand, but you have to be disciplined and radical in order to self-educate yourself. You can't be self-educated. You don't need to go to a training center or a university. You can be self-educated, but you have to be disciplined, radical, and have the knowledge in order to do it. So those are the three things that you need in order to make it on your own and to be able to educate yourself by buying books, by taking, you know, courses that are being offered, like at, say, for instance, on different websites. You could take courses. It's websites out here that have courses on a lot of different things. I would take a online course on a website versus for $2,000 versus going to a university and spending $30,000 and $40,000. You know what I'm saying, for basically the same thing. It was just more because usually what they do at the university, they make you take all these remedial courses and they get money off of you for that now. Credit hours. It's all about the money, even in universities. Stop looking at yourself as not a customer. You're a customer to the university. So it's all about the money. It's always going to be about that. So instead of taking all the remedial courses and the build-up courses and the tutorial fees and you got to buy the books, instead of doing all of that, just go buy a training course for $2,000 or something like that, or $500. It's different one, depending on what you want to do. It just depends on what you want to do. I don't care what it is. Voice lessons, they got it all on the internet. Mostly all of it's on the internet. If it's not on the internet, it's in your local community. You can get side courses, training courses, seminars that come to your city that will teach you more information probably for less money than you would learn at university. So that's my views as far as going to college and furthering your education. It's not really necessary as far as for most people. It's only necessary for those people that have life scripts in the matrix where they need to take calculus, advanced science, advanced methods of science. Those people that need to go deep into botany, those people that need to go deep into chemistry. Though that's what school is really for. It's for, as far as the university aspect, it's for those people that need to learn a certain doctrine that will require them to have certain skills, like if they're getting deep into science and if they're getting, say for instance, they want to build solar panels from scratch. You're going to have a certain level of electricity and basically energy and know how energy works in order for you to do things like that. And those people need education to do that. They need education. Again, I wouldn't go in debt though. I wouldn't go in debt. You better find another way, because debt is slavery. You don't want to be a slave to these people. So don't go in debt. You find a way to pay for it. Find a way to pay for it if you can't get a grant. But don't go in debt. Don't go in debt. Be smarter. Think outside the box. So those people need it. But the average people, the masses, the people, what people are going to school for these days, they're going to career centers, career training schools. These people aren't going to universities like I named earlier, like California State and all that, and Ohio State. These people are going to career training places and getting career education, that credits that aren't even transferable to a university, and they're only making $15 an hour and living their life for profits when they could be getting a skill set and learning something that will always put food on their table and learn how to live and be abundant and live for wages instead of living for profit and getting caught up into the matrix. Live off their own labor, not wages, but live off the sweat of their own brow, live off their own labor, and live off resources versus living off of fiat notes and living off of profit. So that's my views on education. I hope this helped to the inquirer, the person that asked this question. I hope this answered your question. Again, if you're in school, don't drop out. But if you can see a better way, there's a better way. For any type of consultant information or just for more information on any type of particular subject, you can send me an email at 13scienceastrology@gmail.com. Until we meet again, I will leave you in peace and love.